When early Christians came to this land, the theory goes that they told partying pagans that it was appropriate that the year's biggest festival was on the 25th of December because that was the day that Christ was born. But the truth is that those ancient Britons were dancing in the cold on Christmas Day because it was only a few days after the solstice that they could be certain that the light really was returning. Winter solstice was such an important time for a people whose lives were yoked to the land. It's a breathtaking inheritance. Rather more prosaically, the solstice at No Milk Today farm is going to be about a nice fat turkey and some beautiful veg. But my veg has been getting a bit cold. So those Swedes, I think, will be okay. I'm more concerned about these celeriac. They are absolutely frozen solid. When they thaw properly, we'll have to see if they just start rotting immediately. The brassicas here, the red kale behind, they're going to be fine. If anyone wants to know what is absolutely indestructible in -10, it's that mustard. It has not batted an eyelid when everything else is absolutely frozen solid. I've got 5 turkeys this year. We always have a few every year. In the old days, I used to do about 300 or 400 turkeys here and sell them to friends and people in the village and stuff. And one of the things that's great, I'm always banging on about small farms and small farms being profitable. One of the great things about the Christmas turkey industry in Britain is it's largely in the hands of small farmers. The way turkeys are killed on a small scale is with a 110 volt electric stunner. They're quite expensive, cost about £600 or £700. It's 110 volt charge. The gun looks like a little bit like a lip mic with a top of the button on the top. It's got 3 electrodes like a claw that fit onto the top of the turkey's head and pass an electric current through its head. It stuns them in about 6 to 8 seconds, probably, something like that. And then they have a cut made in their neck, which opens the arteries or the veins in their neck, and then they're bled out. And it's actually bleeding that kills them. It's not the electric stunner. And that's how most turkeys are killed on small farms. It's pretty brutal because at the end of the day, you've got turkey, it's a big bird. You've got to catch it. You've got to catch hold of it. It's then got to be put into a bleed cone, which is what this is, hanging on the wall. The turkey's got to go into that, and then you've got to stun it. Its head's down here. You've got to stun it like that. And it's pretty brutal. And I don't like doing it. And so the way I kill turkeys now, hi guys, the way I kill turkeys now is I shoot them with a shotgun. It's a very small shotgun. It's a 410 from a reasonable distance, and I shoot them in the head, and that is stunning / killing them, and then I also bleed them out. But it's only a tiny cartridge. That's a 410 cartridge in comparison with that's a 12-bore cartridge. So it's only a tiny amount of shot. The turkey's just standing there. It's not being picked up. It's not being threatened at all. There's a bang, and it doesn't know anything else. So the primary flight feathers have got to come out first because they're the hardest to get out. And if they're also at the extremities of the turkey, so they cool down fastest. When they're cool, they're hard to get out. So you pluck the tail and the primary flight feathers first. the feathers on a turkey, any bird, grow in all sorts of different directions. And it's really important that you don't tear the flesh, and it tears very, very easily. So taking out the feathers has to be done properly. The breast is the hardest to do and the most important not to tear. So I always do that last, and I do the back first because the back's very hard to tear. It doesn't matter because you don't really see the back of a turkey or a chicken. And so these feathers can just literally just be ripped out. It's really, really quick. And they come out really, really easily, and you're just pulling them down. Here, around the top of the thighs, the feathers grow in a different direction. The thighs tear very easily, and so you want to pull these out really carefully. You pull them out upwards, like that.
It takes about 20 minutes for me to pluck a turkey. If there are loads to do, it's best for 2 people to pluck a turkey together. We used to race each other and share some pretty dark humour.
I really hate doing it. And I can easily imagine being a vegetarian, easily. When we were killing 300 or 400, I never let anyone kill them. I killed every single one. And I did it because I wanted the turkeys to know that I cared about what I was doing. And I hate the idea of someone not caring. The second I don't care, the second I can just kill something without even thinking about it, then I'll definitely stop eating meat. The second. I'd hate to be someone who just could do it and not think about it. I'd hate that. It's a hideous medieval contraption for taking the tendons out of turkey's legs. Right, indoors. We plucked this turkey and I hanged it in a shed outside for 4 or 5 days. It's probably fine, absolutely fine, because it's been very, very cold outside. If it's really cold, they can hang for maybe 10 days. Warmer, less. But now we've got to dress it and make it all look nice for Christmas Day. So the first thing we do, I've taken off the feet. You always think the plucking's done, and it never quite is. But I'm going to take off the head. And that can go straight in the bin, along with those feathers. And the first thing we do is sort out the neck end. Peel back the skin there to expose the neck. And what we want to do is be quite careful not to pierce the crop in underneath here. And I want to also know whether the windpipe is, which is just there, and the esophagus tucked in behind it. I'm going to take the neck off, which I break like that, and then just cut around the, and that the neck goes in with our giblets. And then I'm going to take the crop out, and that's a really careful, delicate operation. We've got to ease the crop in here away from the skin. Now you can just see it's quite a big organ. And I'm going to get my hand out underneath it there, and I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to cut that off there. Now that is all full of turkey feed, look, corn and all sorts. And we definitely don't want that. So the next thing we want to do is take all the guts out. And the best way of doing that is to get the turkey in the right position before you start. I'm going to cut around the large intestine to literally cut them out so that I avoid puncturing anything that might be really horrible and grubby. I'll put my finger in under here, see what I can loosen up. I'll go through Harry. We're just filming. Wait me a sec. You all right, babes?
Hi, Harry.
Is Mum here? Right. So that is the whole of the bowel now separated from the body of the turkey. And if you run your finger in up under here, you can feel, you can make a bigger incision there, you can then feel the gizzard. And you get your hand in underneath there and you pull all the machinery out in one go, like that. And as soon as you've done that, everything ceases to be disgusting. The only thing that's left in there now that I'm going to take out is the heart. And that goes in with the other giblets there. There's a little machine that commercial factories use to suck out the lungs, but I'm not going to bother with that. I just leave them tucked in there where they are. You'll notice the difference in shape with this, in that a commercial turkey, hybrid turkey, has got a huge, great big breast, whereas that's much more the shape of a sort of free-range chicken that you'd see. And that's the sign of a traditional breed, and this is a purebred Norfolk black turkey. And all will be left for us to do now is to separate out bits from the giblets, stuff both ends, tie it up, and goes in the oven.
What else will you be having for Christmas dinner?
What else am I having for Christmas dinner? I'll be having roast potatoes. I have got some celeriac out there, which is frozen solid into the ground, but I'm going to make some really nice celeriac puree to have my Christmas dinner. I've still got some carrots in the ground and stored, so I'll have carrots and turnips and swede. I've got plenty of kale. I've got stewed red cabbage. I've saved some cooking apples, which I dug out of the hedge bordering a neighbour's garden, which I'm going to add to my red cabbage to make really nice roasted braised red cabbage. I've got some grape puree that I might have rather than cranberry sauce. I've got some frozen raspberries, and I might make a sort of raspberry coulis or something like that to go with that as well.
But no chocolate?
No chocolate. I don't miss chocolate at all, not really. I really don't. I'm fine without chocolate. I was going to do a whole Christmas dinner for the whole family, and all of it was going to come off, and then we can all eat exactly the same thing. But we're not actually doing that because I just really worried about using too many potatoes and getting through too much veg, because there's 9 of us for Christmas dinner, and that's quite a lot of food. So
will you be able to provide the meat though?
Yeah, all the meat. And I'll be making pate to share, and we've got a ham that we'll do as well. So there's plenty of that. There's plenty that we will be sharing, but I'll do my own veg separately, and I'm going to do it a few days before, and then freeze it and then defrost it on Christmas morning while I'm doing the main Christmas dinner for everyone else. There's a tradition that me and Ollie always do Christmas dinner together. So that's what we'll be doing. You can see Glastonbury Tor from anywhere on my farm, but I've never managed to see my place from up here, perched as we are, up on the giant's shoulder looking out over England. People have been making a pilgrimage to this place for thousands and thousands of years, but no matter how spectacular the view is, for most of us, it somehow always makes us look more closely at ourselves.